Hey friends, it's Stacy with Stacy Makes. Welcome back to my channel. Bringing you another week of what I made and one pattern, different yarns that you guys voted on last week. And then a couple of my patterns are new, so I will be telling you about those and some of my future plans for inventory. So let's get into it with, first of all, my one pattern, different yarns. So this week, you guys voted on Nooks_hooks on Instagram's free pattern for a mini no-sew elephant. I had never made this pattern before, so it's also new to me, but I have been seeing it around and I've been wanting to try it to kind of see how fast I could make it and what yarn type I would make it in and what price range I would make it in if I was going to keep it, in my inventory is something that I would make. So I had a lot of fun with this pattern. I did choose 5 different yarns to make this pattern in, and I really enjoyed this pattern. It was easy to understand. I didn't have any issues with the pattern itself. Once I got the ear part down, I was no longer having to overthink that part with it being a no-sew. So it was just, I really enjoyed it. So let's get right into it. This is a free pattern on Instagram. I did this pattern and it took me right at about 40 to 45 minutes to make. Maybe 40 minutes. I would say 40. I'll start with the smallest and work my way up to the largest one, and then we'll talk about which ones I would do from there. But pattern clarity, as far as this being a new pattern for me, I rate on clarity, outcome, and marketability. Clarity was amazing. Great pictures, especially with the ear part. The outcome, they're adorable. And marketability, definitely marketable in the right size yarn, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So here is the smallest of the smalls, and this is Baby Bear. So Baby Bear yarn is a size, I want to say that it says 5. There was some confusion about the size of Baby Bear because some of the labels say 6, but they actually did come back and rate it as a 5. So this is Baby Bear size 5 weight yarn. I used a 3.5mm hook for this baby elephant, and I did go ahead. This is the only one I think that I tied on the little extra things on the end of the tail, just to add a little something to it. But it is tiny. You can see it in my hand. Okay, and so we'll move up to the next size, which this is Posh. So Posh is a size 6 weight yarn as well, but with 6s there is everything. I have 3 different size 6 yarns here and they're all very much different as far as how they work up. But I used a 4.5mm hook with this. Very cute, very nice size, very medium sized little elephant. And then we went up to Sweet Snuggles. This is Sweet Snuggles Light or Chanel Home Slim. It's one of those colors. I'm not sure which one. They're exactly the same. They just have different colors. And this is the next size up, also a size 6, but I use a 5.5mm hook with this yarn. It's just heavier, thicker, rounder. So this is the size, the Sweet Snuggles Light. So cute. You can kind of get the little trunk to bend a little bit and the little tail to stick up if you wanted. I put little blue glitter eyes on this one. Okay. So Sweet Snuggles, and then I went up to Burnette Blanket, also a size 6 yarn, and as you'll see, these are size 6 yarns, all 3 of these, very much different. Okay, so Sweet Snuggles was a 5.5mm hook. Burnette Blanket, I use a 6.5mm hook on most of my Burnette Blanket projects, and that's what I used on this one as well. It's just a heavier, thicker yarn. Cute. I just used plain eyes on this one. Burnette Blanket. And then my last but not least is a Parfait XL size 7 yarn. Sorry, there is just this yarn. I love the feel of this yarn, and I love how plushy and soft and I love this yarn. You just get covered in fuzzies, and it's everywhere. So this is size 7, and I used specialty little glitter eyes on this guy as well. I love this little guy, the not so little guy. His big old ears. And his trunks, I don't know if it was because I used a size 7 hook on this, and I don't know if it was just the way I stuffed it or what, but his little trunk will stay curved, and it's just so cute. So cute. So that was my last one. I would say out of all of these, as far as the time it takes, I personally would land in either a Burnett size or the size 7 jumbo as far as marketability. Getting your time and your yarn out of it. I would do 12 for these. You might be able to do 12 for these, and this is why a lot of times I like to just pick a yarn for a pattern and only do it in that yarn, because if I have both of these out and they're both 12, you're gonna be like, well, I'm gonna take the big one, right? Decide which one is the best range for me as far as, you know, getting my time and my yarn out of it, and then it'll sell at that size. Sometimes if I can make them smaller, like I love this Posh size. It's adorable, but the baby bear size is also adorable, but I think it's almost too small to really even, I'm going to try to put them in the $8 bin, this one and this one. I'm going to try to put them in the $8 bin and still sell them at $8, but I'm not getting near my time back out of these at $8. This one, I think this one and the Burnett, I think I'm going to try to do 10 on these. But also, I mean, it takes the same time as this one, which I think I'm going to get at least 12 out of. So that's my take on this. As far as marketability, I would use the bigger size yarn to get the most out of your time, because it takes the same amount of time. Or you could probably do this size still and get your money back on your time, but just do this size if you just have this out. Okay, I think we're good here. Let me see if I can stack them. This is always a fun challenge to try, and I don't know that I'm going to succeed. I'm going to use my other hand and my chin. And there they are. So Baby Bear, Posh, Sweet Snuggles, Burnett, and then Parfait XL, or what would be equivalent to a Sweet Snuggles, not light, but the regular Sweet Snuggles, size 7. Cute, cute, cute. Thank you for such an awesome free pattern, Nooks_Hooks. I really enjoyed it, and I will obviously be taking all 5 of those to my market, but we'll definitely be making more. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We'll see. I usually take a couple weeks before I do another one of those, but we'll see what's up next as far as reviewing patterns and in different size yarns. So, okay, next up I'm going to show you some new things that I did try. I'm looking for a good dino pattern, so I tried Mary Makes dino pattern. This is Sweet Snuggles Light. You do sew on the arms, the feet, and the tail onto this pattern. This took me right out, I would say, an hour. Maybe an hour and 10 minutes, because it was the first time that I had made it, and I did have to remake one of the arms. I just, very, very small magic rings with very tight tube-like shapes sometimes give me a fits just with the magic rings, and trying to get all the stitches in there and getting them poked back around and then sewing them. Anyway, I would suggest, if you're going to try this pattern, which is free on Mary Makes this blog, and she has a YouTube tutorial as well, which, thank you again for the free pattern. It is amazing. I don't mind paying for a pattern either when, you know, obviously you'll see that I've paid for lots of patterns, but I do appreciate a free pattern, especially when you don't even know if you're going to like it or not like it. But if you are going to try this, I would suggest the very first time that you work it to maybe just work it in solid colors, so that you're not trying to worry about where your stripes are. She may not be able to tell, but I can tell that my stripes are off. Anyway, and it would have taken me a little less time. I do carry, I drop my yarn and then pick it back up when I color change, so I don't have to tie off every single color change in here, and I don't try to carry it with me. I drop it and pick it back up with the slack, which helps summon the time that it takes but then you're worrying about having strings. And so I think it would just be easier if you were going to try this for the first time to just maybe make it in a solid color, because I think it would still be cute in a solid color. At an hour of time, a little over an hour probably, but I think if I made it again, I could definitely do an hour for this. I would do 20. A great little fun pattern that is free. I love the shape. I mean, it makes such a good shape. I would also suggest, because there is a lot of decreasing through here, that you use, maybe if you normally use like on something that tubular like this, not a ton of decreases, it's okay to maybe use, you know, your normal hook size. But when you have a ton of decreases that all line up and trying to make a shape like this, and then you have to stuff it pretty stiff to make it take the shape, I would suggest using maybe a half size smaller hook for something like this. So anyway, fun pattern, 20 bucks is I think is what I'm going to try these at. I would love to get 24. And maybe I'll try 24, and then if he doesn't sell, I'll mark him to 20. But he's a good, cute little size too. So great pattern. Clarity was good. Outcome is cute. Marketability, we'll see. I think it's definitely marketable. A lot of people do take them to markets, depending on how fast you are and what yarn you use and what size they end up being. So I would definitely check that pattern out, especially since it's free. No harm in trying it for once. Okay, another new pattern I tried was Odo the Octopus by Knots More Yarn by Lindsay. I think, either way, I'll put it on the screen. This is just like the tiniest little version of my Anchor the Octopus by some, I mean, they're different creators, but this one is just, I mean, it's just so cute. It's like got the same realistic shape. You can see his little eyes kind of sitting there, and then his head shape kind of bobbles. His head kind of bobbles backwards while he sits. I mean, it's just a creative design in the way that it's also no-sew. You do work your way from this end down, making the bobbles and and then closing off, making the tentacles. It's a cute pattern. It is a paid pattern on Etsy, is where I bought it from. But I would say this pattern took me maybe right at 30 minutes with all of the tentacles and everything included here. And definitely a cute pattern I will make again. I might make a couple more just to see how they do at markets. This is Sweet Snuggles. And I will say that I set it in my son's hand, and he was like, I mean, Sweet Snuggles has just got a very plushy, smooth, velvety feel to it anyway. But he's like, ooh, when you put it in your hand and you kind of move it around, it just almost feels like it's crawling on you. And I'm like, it does, kind of. It's kind of a neat little side bonus, I guess, to using this type of yarn with it, is that it just kind of, even when you just move it around in your hands, it just, you know, just kind of gives you that little bit of a, it's crawling on you feel. So cute. I'm going to do 8, I think, for this. Took me right at half an hour. Cute little pattern. I'll make some more. Great pattern. I highly recommend checking that one out. Okay. My last new pattern for the week that I tried was a free pattern on Instagram. I won't be able to say it, so I'll put it up here. I believe it is French, and it is super easy, super fast. I timed myself. I can make these in 10 minutes. I mean, once I made 2 or 3, I'm like, 10 minutes is how long it took me. So, I mean, a great $5 bin item that is not an octo, that is not, well, I mean, mainly octos are in my $5 bins, but anyway, not a little chubby frog, but these stingrays are just cute. So I'll just show you one. This shape is really neat. It's no-sew, obviously. You make all of this in the round. Little eyes on, and then the pattern includes a color change for the bottom, which I only did on a few of them. I did them on this one as well, just to change to the bottom, just for a little bit extra, but I don't think you need to at all. I mean, it's not necessary to get the full effect of this. I don't know how well they'll sell. I don't live in a beachy aquatic area. We'll see. But I think it's going to be nice to have something else in my $5 bin. I made 9 of these. These 3 I made first. Made one out of Bloom. This is like a multi. These are all Sweet Snuggles / Chanel Home Slim yarns. And then I have a reel out there, but then I grabbed the last of some Gumdrop Parfait Chunky, well, not Parfait Chunky, but it's Premier's Gumdrop yarn, and I had kind of a little bit of a skein left, maybe more than half probably, and I thought, how many can I get out of it? So I created a reel out of that, and so I have 2 the solidish blues. This one changed colors on me midway, which was kind of cool. And then I got the darker one in solid, and then I got this darker one with the light on the bottom. So I made 5 out of that skein. So I made 9 total of these, which, you know, was in one sitting. I thought I'm going to take 9, and they would make really good like mystery plushie box items too, grab bag items, something like that as well, just because they are so fast. So super cute pattern. The clarity, I mean, was great. The outcome is cute, and marketability is definitely a thumbs up. Try this pattern. It's free on Instagram. Okay, last thing I made this week, well, not last thing, last plushie I made this week was, I hadn't done a Sammy for a while. This is my pattern, Sammy the pig. And I had this yarn out for something else. Wasn't much of it left, and I got a Sammy out of it, and I got the rest of this little stingray out of it and used up a skein. This is my pattern, and there's an option in the pattern to do a second row of single crochets in the snout, which I did on this so that the snout sticks out a little bit more. And I actually added a picot stitch on the tops of the ears just to see what it would do to the ears, and I really like that too. Might add that to the pattern at some point. But this has got like a unique little stitch that you use for the feet so that they aren't just bobbles, but they stick way up so that you just kind of sits on them. Really cute. Anyway, so I made a Sammy. I had sold the last Sammy at the last market, well, a couple markets ago, and I hadn't made one for a while. So this is Sammy the pig, and I sell him for 12. When I make him in Burnett, I sell him for 15 because he is quite a bit bigger. You guys, if you did or did not see my last video of the Patchy Puppy, my bonus video for the week, I'm counting this in my inventory this week because I didn't count it last week because I couldn't tell you guys what it was. But he is for sale on Etsy. I decided to try to do something different, and listed him for sale on Etsy. If anybody wants to purchase this, he'll be a one of a kind. I used the color wheel to decide what colors to use for him. This pattern is by Cozy Crochet by Tasha. I really enjoyed it. It's got a really unique shape ears and head, and this is all Burnett types of yarn. He came out pretty big. He's I don't know, 14 inches I think from the top to the bottom when he's sitting. Super cute pattern as well. You check that one out. Something else I tried this week, I'm trying to find a few items to bring to our 2-day market besides pumpkins. I make pumpkins in the fall that are not a baby plushie item or, you know, a kid's toy, or teens also buy plushies a lot. But I was trying to find something that would I could make a little area maybe by the corner that would draw in some people that they don't have kids, or they don't buy plushies, or they've got a billion of them, trying to just diversify a little bit. So I'm trying a few different things just to see if I think a basket full of pot holders, or I mean, just aesthetically pleasing kind of boho-y looking pot holders or something. I'm just trying my hand at a few things like that. And this pattern I found, it's a hexagon puff stitch pattern. It is free on TL Yarn Crafts, this website. I'll have it linked below. I made this in the Premier Cotton Fair yarn. I really liked it. It turned out really cute. Which is the back side of it. It's kind of, I just finished it, and I haven't blocked it or tried to steam it or iron it down or anything like that. It hasn't really been pressed under anything, so it's kind of rolling in a little bit, but super cute. Once you get this pattern down, it's kind of like a granny square. So it works up in the round, and it's really a unique pattern. It makes it real thick and puffy. That would be really good for a trivet or a pot holder. And I could just see a little basket of fun home decor type colors, you know, in my booth. And I also have some wooden rings, so I may try wooden rings at the top instead of this holder, just so that they could hang somewhere or be a little bit more of a decorative item as well. And then I bought these earrings that I wanted to try a granny square on, and I have a little bit more finagling to do, and part of it's just the fact that the earring is cheap, but these little granny square earrings. So I made 2 so that I had a set, and they are just on a metal frame. You can see them. So I made this part of the granny square, and then I did a single crochet border that included the frame so that they would be finished, and they will hang like I should have wore them, but I was like, but they'll hang like this direction, like sideways, and that's how big they are. They're about the size of the hoops I always wear, but they're not too heavy. They're pretty lightweight. The metal frame itself is pretty lightweight as well. I think what I'm going to end up doing if I decide to sell anything like this is I think I'm going to put a backer on this. This is not clasping in that thing very well, but I think I'm going to put a backer, like a plastic rubbery black like backer on this, and then I'm going to bend this part down backwards over that yarn. So I mean, I don't think it's going to pop over the edge at all, but I think I'm going to bend it just backwards, and then you'll just wear them in your ear with the back on them instead of having to try to latch them behind your ear like that. So, but this yarn itself just kind of changes colors randomly. I just thought I don't want to change colors and weave in a bunch of ends, but anyway, I just really enjoyed these. I also made, I'll put the picture up here, Blondie Knots' new granny square tumbler cover. I'll put a picture here of that. It's not in here right now. It's actually out there, and my tumbler is dirty, so I can't bring it in here. But I also made that this week, and I don't know if I'll be making a bunch of those or not either. I don't know. I hate to, it's like I want to venture into something that is different, but I also know that plushies sell, and but I also don't, I mean, sometimes I get bored of, you know, just making some of the same things all the time, or having stuffing somewhere, or having to have eyes with me, and making some of these things in my spare time is just kind of soothing and relaxing. So it's not your grandma's pot holders, and but even if it was, that stuff's all coming back too. So I think it's if you make it out of the right type of yarn that's meant to be made in pot holders, or trivets, or you know, things like that, that you could still do well with something like that. So I think that's all I have this week, guys. I made $216 worth of inventory this week, counting the Patchy Puppy. It was a light week for me. I'm going to be real honest that, I mean, I think we all go through a little, you know, the motivation kind of ebbs and flows in and out, and there are just weeks where other things pull us away or need our attention for a while, and that was just one of these weeks. I came off of a show that was horrible last weekend, if you saw that video, and I was just like, oh, why am I doing this kind of a mood? And then I was also like, I also have $6 bajillion worth of inventory, I felt like. But I did take a bunch of stuff to the antique mall, to my booth there, restocked there. I got my April check from there, and it was an amazing check. I made 300, well, for our very small town, for what little inventory I have there, I made $341. I sold $341 worth of plushies in there in the month of April, which we had a lot of extra visitors in town over the eclipse, and they were open those extra days, and they had a lot of out of town people that did buy my things. They said it definitely needed a restock, so I took about $150 worth of inventory to that booth, and I restocked some things there. And so anyway, I still have lots to do. I have a 2-day, our next market is in 2 weeks. It's just a local farmer's market. It's just in the town over from us. It's like 3-4 hours, I think. It's 9 to 1 maybe. I'll have to look again before. But you know, I usually make a couple $100 at that show, and just I meet a lot of neat people, and just it's outside but under pavilion. I don't have to worry about a canopy, and I'm excited about that. And then in June, we're in Owensboro at a big Kentucky at a big 2-day event that is outside, where I will have to worry about canopies and all those things. And I am thinking about doing a video on my experience on YouTube so far. If anybody is interested in that, just thinking about starting a channel, would like to see some transparency around my thoughts and feelings on my channel. My journey so far since January would be helpful to others that maybe are thinking of starting a YouTube channel in this niche. And if that is you, and you are interested in that video, feel free to leave a comment and saying that that's something that you would be interested in. I definitely didn't do this channel to make money. I did this channel because it helps keep me motivated to do what I like to do, and just sharing and reaching out to the community and just trying to be a part of it. Obviously the YouTube monetization is just an extra little added bonus that helps my yarn addiction pretty much. So I mean, who knows how much I'll make even doing that, but I mean, my first month was decent. So I was just like, hey, that paid for part of a yarn order. So, anyway, so if you're interested in seeing that, leave me a comment down below, and we will talk to you guys next week. Have a great week crocheting. Do what makes you happy, and leave me a comment and let me know what size elephant you liked the most, what yarn. So we'll talk to you later, friends. Happy crocheting.